don't think Senator Schumer is the leader of this effort. I don't. I think Senator Schumer, like many of his colleagues, would like to be loved by everybody in the party, and he would like to be loved by the socialist wing of his party. And I do think that's part of what is motivating this shutdown, and that's why I say it's all about politics. But I don't think Senator Schumer is the person in charge, because Senator Schumer is not the leader of the socialist wing of his party. Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is. She's running the show. It was no accident the other day the Congresswoman let it slip. She said, if you really want to negotiate an end of this shutdown, come see me. Here is what the socialist wing of the Democratic Party, led by Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, has said to the American people and to the United States Congress and the Republicans in Congress. If you Republicans don't agree to make the federal government $1.5 trillion, not $1 million, not $1 billion, $1.5 trillion bigger, we're going to shut government down.
In a fiery Senate speech that left the chamber stunned, Senator John Kennedy unleashed a verbal sledgehammer on Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, accusing him of bowing to the will of radical leftist Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and dragging the nation into a politically driven government shutdown. According to Kennedy, Schumer isn't leading, he's following the rising socialist wing of the Democratic Party that has seized control from within. He quipped that it's not Schumer setting the agenda, it's the radicals pulling the strings. Kennedy then dropped the bombshell line that shook the chamber. Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is running the show, he declared. Let's dive right in.
Well, the shutdown melodrama continues. I love the smell of melodrama in the morning. It smells like the United States Senate. I said the other day that this shutdown is just further proof that human evolution is a slow process. This shutdown, what you're witnessing now, is just further proof of why it took human beings thousands of years to learn how to stand upright. This shutdown is bone deep, down to the marrow, stupid. Some shutdowns are based on policy. Some shutdowns are based on politics. Some shutdowns are based on a combination of both. This one is pure. It's pure as ivory snow. This shutdown is based on politics. Let me tell you what's going on. I believe in a two-party system, Mr. President. Why? Because two parties create competition. And competition makes all of us better. It does. The Democratic Party, the opposite of my party, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party is competing within itself right now. And there is a distinct wing of the Democratic Party that is winning that competition. If I wanted to use a pejorative expression, I would call it the loon wing of the party. The loon wing of the Democratic Party. Or you might call it the Bolshevik wing of the Democratic Party. I think a more accurate description is to call it the socialist wing of the Democratic Party. I think that's fair. Now, I'm not saying that all of my Democratic friends are socialists, but there is clearly a wing of the Democratic Party that can only be described accurately as the socialist wing of the party. And that party is in ascendancy. That party is in control. Now, my friend Senator Schumer is the leader of the Democrats in the United States Senate. And he, of course, has instructed his colleagues to vote to shut down government. And Senator Schumer has been criticized for that. And I understand. I don't agree with him. I think he made a mistake. But I don't think Senator Schumer is the leader of this effort. I don't. I think Senator Schumer, like many of his colleagues, would like to be loved by everybody in the party, and he would like to be loved by the socialist wing of his party. And I do think that's part of what is motivating this shutdown, and that's why I say it's all about politics. But I don't think Senator Schumer is the person in charge, because Senator Schumer is not the leader of the socialist wing of his party. Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is. She's running the show. It was no accident the other day the Congresswoman let it slip. She said, if you really want to negotiate at the end of this shutdown, come see me. Come see me. And I think any fair-minded person has to look right now and say that the two leading members, the quarterback, the two leading members of the socialist wing of the Democratic Party, the quarterback is Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. Now, her substitute is Senator Bernie Sanders. But I think it's the Congresswoman who's calling these shots. Now, Mr. President, I don't hate anybody. I've said that repeatedly, and I mean it. I like all of my colleagues. I look for grace wherever I can find it. When I say my prayers, I do. Every single time, I ask God, don't let me hate. Because it's hard sometimes. It's hard up here. But I do. I say, God, don't let me hate. And I certainly don't hate Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. I want to make that very clear. She has the right to her opinion. She has the right to try to have the socialists take over the Democratic Party. That's the American way. Ironically, I think what she's doing is anti-American, but she has the right as an American to do it, so I don't hate her. But I judge her by her policy. She has her opinion, and I have mine. And I have to judge her candidly by her policy. Here is what the socialist wing of the Democratic Party, led by Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, has said to the American people and to the United States Congress and the Republicans in Congress. If you Republicans don't agree to make the federal government $1.5 trillion, not million dollars, not billion dollars, $1.5 trillion bigger, we're going to shut government down.
Senator John Kennedy didn't just deliver a speech. He delivered a masterclass in honesty, courage, and common sense. While others in Washington play politics, Kennedy stands as a voice of truth cutting through the noise. He calls out hypocrisy wherever he sees it, even when it's uncomfortable, because the American people deserve straight talk, not spin. His message was clear. Shutting down the government to satisfy the radical wing of a political party is not leadership. It's lunacy. Kennedy reminded America that public office isn't about serving special interests or chasing headlines. It's about serving the people who put you there. He exposed the uncomfortable truth that Chuck Schumer has become more concerned with appeasing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez than leading his own party responsibly. And in doing so, Kennedy showed what real leadership looks like, standing up for reason, responsibility, and the millions of Americans who just want their government to work. At a time when political games have replaced genuine governance, Kennedy's words cut through like a scalpel, reminding everyone that common sense still has a voice on Capitol Hill. So when history looks back at this shutdown, it won't remember the chaos caused by political puppetry. It will remember the senator who dared to call it what it was: bone-deep stupid, down to the marrow. Kennedy stood for truth, for reason, and for America. And that's why, once again, he stands on the right side of this fight.